Hey guys, there was a little bit longer than expected for the break, but we were waiting for a long time for Zest to join the lobby. I have turned the music down a little bit. You guys said it was a bit too loud last time. This is my bad, I guess. I thought it was fine. So we got the Mech Depot intro for this. I'll rock and roll again because people are really liking it otherwise. Xenocide CA says cargo pants or jeans? This is actually a really funny question for you to ask because I recently was able to... So I'm a fat guy, guys, right? And I haven't been able to wear pants for most of the last year and a half of my life. I recently, just because I don't have any pants, tried to put on some fucking cargo pants I owned in high school. I think I could totally squeeze into them. Just barely, but I can squeeze into them again. So I'm on team cargo pants right now. But okay, here's the intro. We'll see you guys soon. Welcome back to the Olimoleague, folks. We are in the other semifinals. The winner of this will advance on to fight against Rogue in the grand finals. It's map number 1, though, and in the bottom left, we've got the red Terran player, My Insanity's aLive.
In the top right, as the pink Protoss, he is Zest.
I gotta ask two favors of you guys, though. Number 1, do us a favor, hit that follow button on the channel so you don't miss anything. If you've enjoyed the cast here today, if you want to see a lot more StarCraft 2 content, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. We just want you to show up and chat. So please and thank you, hit that follow button. Secondly, today's been actually really awesome. We were kind of talking about this during the break. You know, we had Messin coming and drop some bits. We've had a lot of resubs coming in. I just want to really thank you guys generally for supporting however it is you do, whether it's supporting the tournaments we're casting, like the Olimoleague and things through Match Arena, or whether it's directly subscribing to the channel. Really, really appreciate that support. It's super big love time because we were going through some downtimes, so all you guys are sticking through it. Love you guys so much. Just extra for it.
No. Yeah, it is greatly appreciated. Especially since I'm a little bit sick. It just makes you feel a little bit better.
Is it one sub equals one cure for zombie grub, guys? one was that one like equals one prayer? I think, yeah.
Exactly what it is. Oh gosh. Well, at least he's been getting some good StarCraft. Very long StarCraft games.
You know, I really don't mind, though. You know, yesterday we kind of lucked out with the Corsair Cup. It was like all ace matches there, and even that didn't run that long. What I'm loving about these games individually, though, is regardless of the overall runtime of the tournament, like, they're actually such sick games. Like, Rogue vs. Classic, man. I'm still riding the hype of that game. Now we got Zest versus aLive. Zest, who has admittedly not had the best TVP matchups of all time, aLive has been doing really well in this, so... Again, well, it might be cool to see Zest versus Rogue in the finals. I'm personally cheering for aLive to win this. Either way, I think we're going to get some good games. Even if it's a quick 2-0, I'm just so stoked for that finals. I get to see a little bit more Rogue before my day's over, and I don't normally cheer for Zerg.
Yeah. It's been weird. I've seen a lot of really good PvCs lately, so I'm kind of even looking for that matchup more than Terran-based ones. So, how times are changing, I guess. I really do not give aLive a lot of hope in my mind for this best of 3 because Zest has been doing so well. He's almost back to like Zest 2016 PvT with how smart he's been playing. Maybe the games versus natural weren't like the absolute critical best, but I think that was like a warm up. I think we'll maybe see the real Zest here.
It was the baby. Now he's into the adult.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's gonna be a little bit cheesy. So not a typical Stargate opener. Rather a Dark Templar drop.
So this is like, wait, this isn't Zerg? Crap.
No, shoot. My bad, guys. Nah,
So
very different opener.
While we wait to see if this comes across, you know, it's kind of guaranteed with Mech Depot being the map it is that aLive's not going to get in here with that Reaper. He's not going to see it. It's patrolling on side to see if units move out, but he's never going to actually get up there to the main. So there's no Terran player on a pro level that's going to burn a scan this early. He's just simply not going to see this coming.
Yeah. They'd have to be... They'd have to know something was up, yet be literally unable to scout. like on already paranoia to try and burn the scan, and I don't think aLive is. I think aLive is just taking a guess, like, well, I'll defend against a Warp Prism, it's a bit of depth, you know, harassment. I'll defend against a Oracle with a Cyclone, a couple Marines. It'll be no problem. But the one thing that would be a problem would be Dark Templars. So is he going to save the scan?
So there's some good to this, though, right? Like, his opening is blind opening. Cyclone plus Viking means this Warp Prism doesn't have a lot of staying power.
Oh, he's going to get in there. He didn't actually mule, so he'll have the scan for sure.
There we go.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Zest. Maybe that would have been a mule had that Reaper not gotten in. Maybe.
Oh, that actually, I didn't even see that the Reaper got up there. You're right, yeah. So I was busy watching the Warp Prism, seeing its path at home. But, you know, the Viking, it's good to go, right? Like, it chases off the Warp Prism. The DT attack has been stalled out. Engineering base complete in E2, so I'll have turrets down shortly, and this really wasn't so bad.
It was an absolutely perfect defense. aLive saving that scan for the potential Dark Templar timing, and then barely getting that Reaper in there was quite good.
That Stalker Warp in was kind of clutch, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's just been loving follow-up Stalker all, well, actually sometimes all-ins, but attacks.
Just Stalker with blink, period, whether it's all in or not.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not very popular to do anymore. Even if you do open up off of Stargate, people are just going to charge anyways. That was a mistake.
By the way, people were poking for the Match Arena thing. We don't have Match Arena for Olimoleague. You know, it runs Patreon and independent on its own. But if you guys are looking to throw a couple of bucks towards a good cause, if you type !mega, it'll take you to our mega fundraiser, which we kind of go into the background. We got to set an end date for that. It's probably going to be in the next couple of months. We've just kind of left it open-ended. But we're a little over $11,000 raised, which is really fucking cool, guys.
That is cool. Okay, so Zest did not have the best opener. DTs were dealt with very easily. Stalker is not able to do much beyond that kill on the Viking. But he still has a nicely timed third base. Like, it's okay. And he can still maybe contain and deal with aLive central pressure, because that's not coming for a while. Like, he could just kind of have the map control if he wanted to roam around the map with Blink Stalkers for another minute. As long as Sim isn't done, you're kind of free to do that with Stalkers.
Well, for Zest, you know, there's a couple of the ways the later game's been following up for versus Terran. You mentioned the Blink Stalkers. Excuse me. That's my 4 a.m. yawn finally getting out. You mentioned Stalkers and Blink, and I think one of the reasons I like this out of Zest is because, you know, eventually Liberators will likely be in play, right? So Stalkers can help with the anti-air. But who was it we saw recently? They did, like, Phoenix with Ranged as, like, the anti-Liberator, anti-medevac move.
Who was that?
I want to see it was like last week's Olimoleague, but I don't remember who did it. But it was so impressive to me that it made me think, like, this is maybe the new way this matchup will go at some point.
It was, yeah, I really can't remember who it was. No.
Well, anyways, right now, you know, do you think Zest goes Colossus is the follow-up to this, or if it's just going to be Gateway Immortals?
He might just take on Gateway Immortals. He has no problem doing that in the past. It won't be very well upgraded, though. The live's already on his +1. Zest is only 1 Forge with +1 on the way. But he can make that work. Force Field's going to be very good. aLive is on 2 bases still, and the Observer, or the Phoenix, my bad, is going to see that move out.
Yeah, intended 2 bases too. This wasn't like he got denied trying to take a third. Like, I think this is totally in response to seeing the DTs for the opening and knowing what's going to be waiting for him. It's mostly just gateway units. So trying to get in here with some brute force.
Important choke. aLive has to be very careful.
Yeah, Force Fields could wreck his day. He knows that too, so he's being very careful about taking the fight here.
Now, aLive should have the better army. Not just an army supply, which is up by 10, but also with that upgrade and just army type. Zest is going to have a couple of decent force fields. He's got nothing else really going for him, like, you know, no splash, just maybe the Immortals focus firing on the Marauders could help. Maybe he could use a live splash against them. He's trying.
There's some really good Widowmine hits on the Adepts too. That takes out a lot of the front line. Liberator sets up at the back there. The Stalkers focus fire it down. The Bio's not dealing with the Immortals. aLive's got to pick up and go somewhere else. This fight he's not gonna be able to just bully his way through this.
No, that was not a stim and stomp, right? And he even takes out a couple of the air units along with that, but it was okay. Just keep in mind that aLive was on 2
trade, but like for aLive who's on 2 bases, it's not really about trading. He needs to get decisive wins here because Zest is gonna topple him when it comes to economy.
I think he has another fight in him that could still go his way, but right, like that could have been much better. The force fields were on point. Zest calmly took out the Liberators. Had they sieged me, that's a lot more damage. And Zest now even taking a 4th base. Like he is still going to be all about that power economy, supporting a lot of gateway units.
Well, as the army moves out, there's not really a lot for them to see on the way. Catches one of the adepts, or tries to at least. Take control away from the Watchtower. Not sure if he's aware there's an observer tailing him. If he catches this, it'd be great because it'll remove some of the detection for the Widow Mines, but it's not the only observer in the field. I don't think, at least. There's one more.
Yeah, hopefully there is one more. But it's important that Zest knows where to take the fights, so it really was about just the knowledge.
No,
I don't know about that link. That was a little bit questionable. I don't think he can take the fight now. Like, so many Stalkers were low. The Liberators get a couple of shots.
The War Prism is just going to have units picked off as it warps in. This is almost like a bait. War Prism gets focused. Now shooting the Immortals down. Stalkers removed from play. This ends up being such a good fight, but Zest ends up winning? Okay.
Well, I mean, the army supplies ended up getting a lot more even, and aLive was all in on 2 bases.
Yeah, 2 base. You're right. The 2 bases actually, yeah.
Yeah, that was the biggest part about why he tapped out. But I'm surprised, like, he blinked into burrowing Widow Mines. I really thought that was going to be a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, like, as soon as the Immortals started falling towards the end, too, like, he removed every Stalker, I thought he'd pull back again. But I guess, like, even if he did recover any of the army that was left over, you're right, it's 2 bases. There's just, you don't want, you haven't touched your opponent's probe line, you haven't sniped a Nexus a la Pult style. So I totally understand that tap out, but... Gotta wait for the next map pick to come out of aLive now. See, gets to choose.
Right, aLive's map choice. I still can't get over, like, he was up in supply, he was up in upgrades, and he had a Bio Ball versus a Gateway army, but... Zest is just, you know, we saw at his lowest point, bad macro, bad micro, questionable decision-making. He would go for everything he used to, but just with all the wrong maneuvers. It really feels like that's what's been fixed lately. Not that his macro or his micro has been tuned up again, which it has been. Just that he can actually use mass gateway armies and not make the biggest mistake ever and lose the game instantly. Because that was happening a lot 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. Yo, I gotta say, poor Zaros has been like screaming into the wind here about blink DTs in chat, but more on that in a moment. We'll play the intro for this one. We'll see you guys here in just a sec.
The Vespine is always greener in somebody else's base. You dream about blowing up theirs, but they have a real good race. Just look at the map around you, right here on Abyssal Reef. As ultras and links surround you, so make like a tree and leave under the sea. Typing GG, darling, it's better. Typing those letters, take it from me.
Good old tempo. Yo, it's his birthday recently? I didn't even know. I feel so bad I missed it, man.
Unless someone makes a big deal about their birthday, I'm not so bad that I miss it.
Yeah. Alright, well, game 2 kicks off here. Remember, the winner of this series goes on to fight in the finals, so it is looking good for this guy. Currently up 1-0. Spawning here in the top left, we got the pink Protoss Zest.
In the bottom right, as the red Terran, it's aLive. It's a very early probe scout.
There's some interesting what ifs in chat. I'll talk on the probe chat or the probe scout in a sec because I think it's actually important. But like, what if Zest had sniped that War Prism in that previous, or excuse me, aLive had sniped Zest War Prism in the previous fight? What if this had gone differently? And I think, like, yeah, there's some situations where maybe aLive could have taken that fight, but looking back on it, still the 2 base problem. I don't know if he would have taken that game because those warp ins on the front line would have just been then back at the Nexus.
Yeah, and he had a Nexus to lose. He was finishing up a 4th base with that final attack, so even if he lost the 3rd base or a natural, or the 4th base was found and killed, he still had a lot of economy to remake an army.
Yeah.
So it was a totally appropriate tap out. Well, for me, it was definitely more how quickly that battle itself turned. That was a surprise.
So the probe scout I think is really cool out of Zest, by the way. I think this speaks a lot about him knowing aLive more than necessarily like just, oh, it's a simple scout. aLive is a player who is very much willing to do proxies. He's not quite like Joxy level of like proxy a factory every single game, but he's willing to throw down when he needs to. And I think for Zest, scouting early like this was really important, because if he went across the map and he saw no barracks at home, this changes the game entirely. But now he gets to play a little bit more comfortably into his own tempo. No.
Yeah.
Like he's fine.
Absolutely. Zest has been going for a lot of early probe scouts, so it's really not out of the norm, as against most Terrans. At this point in time, all the Terrans are deadly with their proxies. Innovation, a macro beast, still will always, especially in best of 5, will always sit on at least one proxy of some type. Racks, factory, starport, whatever. So it is.
Yeah, actually, I think if I'm thinking of aLive, I'm usually thinking of like the Liberator as the focus of the proxy. I'm thinking somebody like Joxy, and I'm thinking like Cyclone and Marines. Like there's very different ways the Terran players have found their style for the proxies against Protoss.
Yeah. Everyone has their individual style. But Zest is going to be glad to see nothing is happening anytime soon. He will be able to micro to his best ability with this Oracle and get as much as possible against aLive's 1/1/1 opener. Wouldn't mind drop. Reaper's gonna get a scout. I mean, there's not really too much of any necessity in pulling the probes to stop that from being scouted. It is a macro choice. Good guess it's an Oracle anyway. That Wouldn't Mind is gonna try and snipe the Oracle. Protosses are starting to get a little bit smart about this and are actually wary. They're looking at their Oracle along the points of common Wouldn't Mind paths. And that one's not even trying to get to the Oracle, it's just going to the 3rd base.
Yeah, this might just sit here for a while. If nothing else, if this baits an Oracle to stay at home and cast Revelation, for example, that's great. Takes away from the attack on the other side of the field, but sees nothing at the 3rd. Did Zest not see this?
No. I mean, the Nexus building does not have a lot of sight.
That's true, but I thought the probe was still down there. He's gonna reposition though. He's gonna play cat and mouse here with the probes.
So this is going to distract the Oracle. That's something aLive does not have to deal with on the front line. So when Way dealt with the Oracle, and it's also maybe going to distract Zest from taking care of this medevac drop. It's only like not even halfway across the map though, so I don't think that's going to be the case. In fact, aLive rethinks the drop. Unloads him up in the depths.
It may have just been to catch the adept, but the thing is, you saw those 3 Phoenix, and you got to know that this is not something you really want to be dropping around. But regardless, it's going to come down to like what type of style is that's going to play off this, right? He's opened with Phoenix. You know, it used to be Phoenix Adept for a while, but Phoenix Charge Lot, when the charge came, kind of took its place. Forge on the way says armor upgrades to me because you are fighting against Terror and throw Guardian Shield on top of that, and suddenly Zest army looks like almost untouchable. But whether he's going to go full dedication to that or whether it's just simply his opening, we'll see.
Yeah.
I still think like at the end of the day, like if you can no matter what you've opened with this Protoss, if you can afford to get Colossus or Storms behind it, you're just going to have the best time.
Well, yeah, Splash will add a lot to your army, but Zest making pure gateway, no Splash work last game, and that's something he's been making work the past couple of weeks. Something that's really been missing months ago. So I don't know how quickly he's gonna get to Storm, if he even will. He might be looking for opportunities to kill aLive, being. I was gonna
say he might just stick to the charge lots in Phoenix. Like, I mean, it is a good composition early on, but it might just be able to get some early headway.
Yeah, 6 Phoenix already. That is certainly enough to help take down medevacs. 1 goes in a scout, just 1.
I like that he's got so many Phoenixes, we have to hallucinate them, right? He's got like, I'll just really scout for actual. It does eat a Wouldn't Mind shot, but of course Phoenix can take that hit. Not more than 1 though.
It was more about making sure that it wasn't with the, because he has in one control group.
This is so bad for aLive.
Oh boy. Yeah, all those units can be picked up. There's too many Phoenixes. Can't even focus fire down the Oracle. This is just an absolute loss of units.
Wouldn't it just be like there's too much Phoenix?
What did I say?
Phoenixes? I'm actually asking. I'm not trying to be like snooty.
No, you're probably right. Phoenix is probably plural and singular.
But why aren't foxes? And boxes?
Why are deer?
Well, everyone knows the plural of deer is sheep.
That's definitely a reference I don't get. Alright then. Widowmine is revealed. Still gets the pop-off, but on a single probe instead of the Phoenixes.
Yeah, that medevac, by the way, could have been hunted down?
Did he kill his own Oracle? What? Was it like a Marine there that got the last shot?
Oh, I didn't see that pan down, so...
The Oracle died on the left side. It was right before he panned down. There was an explosion. I just thought that everything had been cleaned up. Well, he lost the Oracle.
You know, 14 probes died too, because we had Widowmines go off here on the right side, but Cannon's finishing up to deal with that. Phoenix can chase down the medevacs. This was not great for aLive in terms of like trading army, but it was good in terms of killing probes. Like, he actually got a fair bit of Zest's economy here.
Yeah, and that might have been worth it. Considering the loss of the 2 medevacs earlier on, he needed something like this. I think that was pretty good. Ooh, Zest's gonna dedicate to +1 air weapons as well as shields.
Ooh, I actually really like the plasma shield choice on this. Like, he could have gone armor and weapon upgrades, right? Make the zealots even beefier. Or, well, I guess stronger, because this makes them beefier, right? Like, not only is that plasma shield going to benefit the Phoenix, it's going to benefit the zealots, too. So they're going to have armor upgrades on top of plasma shield upgrades, on top of what is likely going to be a guardian shield. Good luck aLive doing any damage to those zealots.
Zest has been doing this lately, adding in that shield, and it's a very expensive upgrade. It starts off 200, but it affects literally everything.
Yeah,
so there is a lot of work there. Yeah, literally everything.
This will be certainly cool if he pulls this off, but he is also getting Storm behind it, which I think is a lot more important than anything else, because if you are going to lack weapon upgrades, where are you going to get your damage from? Well, spells. That'll get you covered. Throw down a couple of blanket storms, pick up the odd unit with the Phoenix. Ooh, nice scoop ups on those Widowmines too.
Yep, no surprise pop-offs today. So, at this point in time, aLive, it seems like he's going to need Ghosts, with Storm already halfway done. Tons of Phoenixes, where there's going to be a ton of charge lots. But he's going for a lot of Liberators. That's one part of the ultimate endgame army.
You know, I didn't really think about it, but yeah, EMPs would be such a good way to deal with Zest's army. You know, the plasma shield army, or excuse me, the plasma shield upgrades are cool, but doesn't matter if they're all removed by an EMP. Which actually kind of makes this upgrade harder to justify if you think about it. Just the potential that could all be removed like that. You suddenly wasted like 600 minerals upgrading +2, +3.
It's a lot. It's very expensive upgrades. Disruptors. So he was getting Extended Lance, is getting Extended Lance. It starts off with Disruptors.
Zest is just getting everything. He's like, you know what? I've got the freedom to do what I want.
Well, he does. They're both going for 4th bases. They're both finalizing a later army. So they're not going to attack right now. And that means aLive can get to a scary kind of Liberators, Liberator range. But Zest can get to, well, what is apparently a scary number of splash units. So Storm, Disruptor, and Colossus. And I think aLive's going to be... You know, he's going to be like, yeah, I have a lot of Liberators. This is going to be maybe 8 Liberators before he pushes out with range, and that's going to feel pretty good. But then he's going to run into so much splash, he's going to really wish that he had added on Ghosts as well. I mean, he still could. It just isn't. It's taken a while.
Yeah, maybe we'll see that late game come into play. I mean, aLive is really good at the late game, but I'm feeling it for Zest right now, man. He's getting away with so much. The upgrades are hilarious to see that he's actually getting like the plasma shields where they are. He's now starting to transition into some weapon upgrades too. And even though the idea of these Liberators is great, and normally we talk about the Colossus dynamic with them, what's really cool is the fact that there are Disruptors. Those can just send their shots way underneath the Liberators, who cares, and take out that bio from far away where the Colossus maybe might not reach.
The 5th base comes down for Zest. Continuing to power up that economy. He does have the bigger bank. and he is still continuing on with those upgrades. Also on his way to Tempest already. aLive added on the Ghost Academy as soon as I stopped talking about it, so he will be perfecting his army with his own upgrades too. It's an even army supply, pretty even economy. But Zest has, I think, the scarier army with so much splash.
Yeah, and there's some really big questions to be raised here as far as composition goes, right? Like, Liberators will get the job done in a pinch, but with the Phoenix doing what they do, and as we're seeing here, even take out those Liberators, I do wonder to what degree the Vikings would be better. Because at least the Vikings, they've got the range, they got that snipe sort of ability, so whether it's taking shots at the Phoenix and staying at the back line, or whether it's poking away at the Colossus, like, I just feel the Liberators aren't going to have the greatest role in the upcoming fight.
Well, when Tempest can just poke away freely at a defensive Terran, then that is when Liberators are quite lame. If they're the one pushing, if they're the one sieging up on the army and the Tempest are the ones retreating, Liberators can still do a great job. But it's aLive who is definitely on the defensive.
Or Prism Speed coming out. It's going to be really nice, too. 47 minutes in chat. Those are some nice plasma shields. Be a shame if something happened to them. Ghosts.
Yeah. And it was mistaken. It was 150, 150. Still more expensive than the other upgrades.
Well, I didn't know any better to call you out on it or not, so...
Yeah, I blame you.
What? I was going to accept a guilty by association to go down with you here, but fuck that. You're on your own. You were super wrong, idiot. God. So, by the way, Vikings are coming out. I really like the Viking edition of this a lot. The problem is now we're going to start seeing some run-bys too, and these Zealots... These, like, you usually don't have plasma shield upgrades. It's just armor upgrades, and those are already tough enough to clean up. We see it all the time. So you add in the fact that the shields can take a few more hits now, and this army, it's going to take forever to chew through them.
This is going to be a very beefy Protoss army, and it really, really worries me that Zest is the one that's kind of controlling the map right now.
aLive doesn't have concussive shells.
Dope.
That's gonna hurt when it comes to kiting Zealots, but yeah, these bigger units don't really matter so much for it. Colossus and Tempest and such. But what is that map control in the middle of the map? The thing is, it's not supported very well by the ground. It's primarily Storms and a couple of Stalkers, maybe a couple Phoenix still mixed in there. The fact that we're gonna be on like what 12 Vikings in a moment plus Liberators, I think aLive should be able to poke here with relative ease. And of course, we got those ghosts waiting for the EMPs in the back lines.
Okay, so that's not gonna take the fight. He's gonna think about another day, another opportunity. I think what only makes this fight go better for Zest, besides maybe like pulling aLive into that choke, is having a distraction somewhere. So the Dark Shrine is finishing up, and there should be some type of harassment on the natural or 5th or 3rd. Zest sends a couple of Zealots in there.
Oh. I wonder if it'd be better leaving the Liberators in air mode. Help splash down the Phoenix. He does have weapon upgrades on them.
I guess. Grab +2. Wouldn't upgrade for those Liberators.
Well, see how he uses it one way or the other. I think the Vikings... Excuse me. 4 a.m. yawn coming out there. I think the Viking count is good enough to cover the spread, though. Like, he's seriously on 13, another 3 about to pop. He's going to be on like 15 to 20 Vikings by the time the fight begins. That should be able to one volley down pretty much anything they want to snipe at.
Who was talking about DT Blink earlier?
Zaros! Zaros, and even though he's not here, Fear Dragon in spirit.
Yeah, right? Finishes the Dark Shrine, immediately starts Blink. So, I know there was a lot of discussion about why or why not it's valid, and it's not really anymore an early game tactic. It was useful against certain tank pushes, but that was really it. Late game, when you're already banking a ton of money, I think it is useful.
Especially for harass moves, and as you mentioned before, the distraction tactics.
I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Usually DTs in the very late stages of TVP are so annoying to deal with. I mean, look at this.
They just killed the
turret.
turret.
But then add on the fact that they can now blink away, survive another day.
Oh, he just starts at realizing, by the way, like when that DT didn't die.
Yeah, that sucks.
So Vikings are not the best choice in most scenarios. In fact, in a lot of times you could argue Vikings are like some of the worst anti-air in the game. I really do like them in this situation because aLive has money to burn. These are a bigger threat than they are, like, I guess the threat of the Vikings is more dangerous than the Vikings themselves. So Zest is forced to kind of sit back due to this. But he's going to keep sniping them off one at a time. The Tempest range is going to be too good. Like, I don't think aLive's going to take a fight with us anytime soon. At least not a viable one unless he can land an EMP, then that might just trigger him to go. Because he does have cloaking now. And one of the biggest problems earlier is when he finished cloak, all his ghosts had revelation on them. That's not the case anymore, though.
I think he really needs to get that momentum.
Oh, well, damn it.
He really needs to get that momentum. He needs to get an EMP that is devastating and then continue running forward.
You know, on this note, too, like, I'm surprised he's not keeping, like, a couple ghosts in a medevac or something, right? Just to avoid getting revealed, but... Oh, these DTs are going to have high ground vision provided by the Phoenix, and we're going to get to see some blink action here. This is going to get on top of production. We've talked about this for years with StarCraft 2. Terran players' biggest weakness is their production going down, and aLive is losing it at such a rapid pace to these almost... No, they are fully upgraded 333 DTs.
He's not responding. I mean, he is responding, but he's responding too hard. He realized at the last second. Okay, alright. Oh, they blink out.
EMP hits half of them too, so they're revealed, but oh my god, he's so obsessed with the front line. He loses the ghost of the disruptor shot. He's making a lot of mistakes. Most of the Vikings aren't even fighting. aLive is panicking here, and he's not dealing with this very well. The DTs provided that distraction, the perfect level of distraction.
Yeah. aLive realized at the last second, so he barely ends up saving his 4th base, but he took a lot of production damage, and he did lose out on his 3rd base. Still doesn't set down that 5th. And Zest continues to poke at the front, continues casting that revelation. He is still looking to take this game, but aLive is not broken yet.
Especially because Zest has a bank. He can totally afford to waste DTs like this. And they're not even a waste. Like, he can waste them, but forcing the fight out, feeling the necessity to go in there, it's not going to work out for aLive. He might take out the air-related units of the Vikings, but his ground army is gone. GG.
GG.
That was a hell of a long 2-0, but a 2-0 nonetheless.
And then 5 seconds later, he dies. Yes, 2-0.
Okay, so it is going to be Zest versus Rogue in the finals. That's kind of cool. PvZ coming up. Gonna go to commercial break, guys, and when we get back, we'll see if those finals are good to go. Thanks for watching. Hit the follow button. See you soon.